Thursday, May 9th, 2021, we discuss Lions for Lambs, a movie by Robert Redford that's currently on Amazon Prime, starring him, Andrew Garfield, Meryl Streep, Michael Pena, and Cruisey. Did I mention Tom Cruisey? Old Cruisey. Okay, today on the Daily Review with your host, me, Joe LaRocca. What's up, Bodie? What you doing, buddy? What you doing? I just started the show. We'll go out in a little bit. We got to do the show first. I'm sorry. Oh, hey, what's up, guys? Oh, let me move the chair so that you can possibly see Odie if she goes on up. Go on up, Odie. Going up. All right, well, never mind that. Okay, so I can tell that light is going to change. The way it's shining in the window is not going to stay. It's just kind of coming over the apartments where I live. Anyway, okay, so yeah, this is a movie that, again, I had never seen it. It was in the theater when I was in grad school, and I never got around to seeing it because it got kind of mediocre reviews, and it didn't look like something I'd be very into. And it isn't really. It's like... But that being said, it's not too bad. It's about the Iraq War, and it's essentially two conversations and one like war survival story that are happening all interwoven together. And at first, I really thought the editing was strange and poor. Like it felt like in the first 10 minutes, it felt like they were really rushing to put something together. Like the movie had been 2.5 hours and someone said, this movie's not going to make any money. You got to make this an hour and a half. And they went, oh my God, that's what it felt like. It felt very rushed early on. I was not a big fan of it. But then once you start seeing how it's almost has like a Dunkirk-like structure where these events are kind of all taking place at the same time and we're just kind of tapping in, you know? And you go, oh, this is pretty clever and this works. And the reason you don't note it, like you don't realize it's happening at first is because it's not being over the top or fancy with it. So the three different stories that are taking place are Meryl Streep is Janine, and she's she works for the American News Agency or whatever, Exchange or whatever it is, and she's a liberal windsock, as the movie would portray her, and she goes to have a meeting to interview Tom Cruise's character, who's a senator who looks exactly like Matt Gaetz, and it's creepy as fuck watching him. You go, oh my God, it's Matt Gaetz. And Tom Cruise is just kind of a little bit creepy, especially the way he performs this. He's like, I'm looking out for the best interest. You know, and then you just know he's on a yacht with 14-year-olds or some horrible shit. Anyway, so that's one story, and they're kind of like battling back and forth these political, theoretical ideas and how it comes out in the media. It's really the media versus the war in Iraq is what that kind of scene is about, the government and how they're intertwined and how they play off of each other. And the senators clearly brought her there to manipulate the press, you know. It's like, I'll give you an hour interview, and here's all this important stuff, but careful, you know, careful what the creepy information that the creepy guy gives you is probably creepy. So that's one story. Then the other story is Robert Redford, who is a journalism professor at a college. It says a California college, and then they show images of Stanford. And you're like, I'm pretty sure it's Stanford, but it's like maybe that was UCLA or something. But whatever, they didn't get the rights to show it, so they go a California college or whatever. But yeah, it's him. And he's discussing with one of his students, Andrew Garfield, who was once a promising student, has seemed to have kind of dropped off. He does well in the exams, but he doesn't show up for class. So he's having a meeting, in the professor's office where he's taking him to task about, the future of political ideas and trying to get this kid back on track. That's my favorite stuff. That stuff's amazing because Redford's so good. And actually, Andrew Garfield is like an incredibly convincing, arrogant college student. He's played that a couple times, and it's worked out well. He's not even arrogant actually in Social Network. He just seems like he plays that college student really well. I think it was smart to think that he would be a very good Spider-Man. What's Peter Parker, because he plays young fairly well, and he does that thing, that like confidence, when you like learn one thing when you're like a sophomore in college, which I think that's what that word actually means, is educated fool, right? You learn one thing, you have just enough information to be like, I get it, man. But you shouldn't say that when you're talking to like a 60-year-old really smart professor who's like, yeah, guess what, buddy, I've been here longer. So that's the second story. And then the third story is Peter Berg, Michael Pena, and Derek Luke are they're going on the mission in Afghanistan to pick out a forward operating point, and it's the mission that Tom Cruise and Meryl Streep are discussing, and you find out that that's taking place like while they're having this meeting, and the things go awry, and Michael Pena and Derek Luke end up on the ground, fairly incapacitated in enemy territory, and so basically the mission has gone to shit. And it's really interesting how they start discussing about Iran. Oh, the future of Iran. There's a new axis of evil, and the Sunni and Shia are working together against the United States, and that's like a 2,000-year war, and we've made them so angry that now they're working together, and all this interesting stuff. That, like, I don't know if that's true, but that's certainly how the government, people who wanted to continue. I mean, it's obviously an insanely complicated thing that ties in, I mean, obviously the reason I watch this because I've been watching, thinking about Robert Redford movies, and then watching Green Zone, which is basically the beginning of the Iraq War. It's not, it takes place in 2003. This takes place in 2007, and it's kind of like the next phase, or what are we gonna do? We've been fighting this war for like 6 years, and nothing's really happened. Yeah, so those are the three different stories, and it really, at the halfway point, you see actually how it ties into the Robert Redford story, because Michael Pena and Derek Luke were former students of Robert Redford, and for a split second you're like, that's a little convenient. And you're like, no, wait, that's the whole point of this movie, is that, and they just are keeping it an hour and a half so that they don't tell us right off the bat. They don't waste the time. They just let it, as it develops, you start going, oh, those are the two. Yeah, it's good. It's actually a smart script, and it's really smartly edited. I don't like the cinematography. I mean, I think it was intentionally shot to look like 60-minute interviews sometimes, but I wasn't into it. But I mean, I guess it's decent, because literally an hour and a half movie is just people like having conversations. It's like a theoretical conversation, and then like a practical conversation, and then the real world application of those conversations. You know what I'm saying? So it's really is a very interesting idea. It's a very mature, smartly made film. The action sequences aren't very exciting. Well, I guess there's some stuff that's pretty exciting, because they're like, incapacitated on the ground, and slowly Afghan troops are coming in. It's pretty decent. But that's not what the movie's about. It's about these conversations. And I think the heart of the movie is the Robert Redford conversations. And he's like, Robert Redford has a great line. Maybe this is why I like this part. He goes, "Professors aren't teachers. They're salesmen." And Andrew Garfield goes, "Okay, what are you selling?" He goes, "I'm selling you to you." It's like, oh shit, that is an awesome line. I'm gonna take that and run with it. That's what I'm gonna tell students. Joe, you haven't taught me anything. I'm not here to teach you. I'm here to sell you something. Yeah, what's that? I'm here to sell you to you. It's awesome. Yeah. It's good. I guess the second plot point is, well, I won't give that away. But there's a great scene where he goes, "Rome is burning, son." It's awesome. That's the line that Robert Redford has. So it's very prophetic. Yeah, and it's got a great, like, fairly shocking non-Hollywood ending, which is why this movie was not popular, even though it's fairly short, it's fairly interesting, and it's chock full of excellent actors. You would think that it would have been fairly popular, but no, it really kind of slipped under the radar. But I thought the ending was like, oh, that's good. That's actually like a good ending, but I understand why people weren't like, yeah, Everybody's got to go see Lions for Lambs, which I think came out in like came out in November. Okay, that's not bad. I kind of remember it being out in like a February. Like they were like, uh-oh. But anyway, I thought it was really good. All right, what are you saying, Punchy? Sorry, I didn't say. Tom could be a bit creepy. Yeah, when he seems too nice, it is super creepy. Yeah, you just want him to be Les Grossman all the time, because that's probably what he really is. Literally, fuck your own face. Is that what he says? Yeah, Andrew Garfield gets really, really into his roles, which I like. He is good in Silence. That's a punishing movie. What an interesting movie that is. Very meditative, very not what you're used to from Martin Scorsese. I love his religious movies. That Kundun and Kundun are kind of in their own little categories of these meditative movies. I kind of hope he makes one more, because I don't think Last Temptation of Christ really completes that trilogy, because that feels more like a Martin Scorsese movie with the music, the way they do the music, the way the editing is, the fact that Harvey Keitel's got like a Brooklyn accent. I mean, I love that movie. The movie's great and ballsy and interesting, and people who think it's anti-Catholic are so stupid. You're like, oh my God, it's bringing Jesus closer to you as a human so that you can connect with them. Don't you get it? It's supposed to empower a Christian. Fucking people are so stupid for people like refuted that movie and protest that movie without even having seen it, because they treat, essentially, if you haven't seen that movie, Jesus is on the cross and he goes, I don't want this, and God lets him down, essentially, and lets him just live his life, and he goes about his life, living his life, and he has sex and he has a kid and stuff like that, and people are like, that's not good, you can't show Jesus having sex. And it's like, no, that's what makes Christ's decision so powerful, is that he could have had everything, and he sacrificed it. That's what makes it powerful. It was the thing that convinced me that the Jesus story is actually fantastic, because I always was like, well, wait, he's living in this horrible desert and he gets to die and go to heaven. What sacrifice is that? That sounds awesome. Like, I would die now if I knew that there was a heaven and I knew that I was the son of God and got to sit at his right hand and forever eternal bliss. Oh, darn. Yeah, love that movie. Let's not get too off topic. Yeah, Silence is definitely not for everybody, because it is more meditative. And like you said, yeah, you get lost in it. You can't be like really fighting for where's the story? It's just about kind of the inability to convert the Japanese people to Catholicism, but on a bigger sense, it's the inability to like supersede culture. I don't know. I have to watch the movie again. Yeah, Rupert Pupkin is the best. He could have been a contender. He could have. Yeah. Judas, did you fuck my wife? I heard things. Yeah, I love King of Comedy. And actually, I don't think King of Comedy is really that overlooked, because I think that people who are into cinema and who are into De Niro know that movie. I think it's a little bit under the general movie going audience's kind of perspective, but anybody who I know who's into film knows King of Comedy because it's so, there's so few movies that pull off what it does so well with these kind of horrible technically they should be horrible characters that you don't like. And then you got Jerry Lewis not making a joke the whole movie when he's usually like, it's like if you had Jim Carrey in a movie and he was just like, hi, I'm Jim Carrey. I don't know. Yeah, that movie's awesome. Break some rules. I love it. Okay, we've gotten way off topic. Yeah, Lines for Lambs. Yeah, it's kind of a quiet fart of a film. You kind of go, what was that? Oh, it was a pretty decent Robert Redford movie. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Joker kind of brought back up, the movie Joker brought back up that idea. I've never seen, God, I'm behind on my Motivar movies. What Have I Done to Deserve This is the name of a Motivar movie. Almodovar. Yeah, you wrote right. Oh, no, I guess you didn't. Oh, no, yeah, you did. Oh, no, you didn't. Whatever. Yeah, whatever. Okay, cool. Yes. I will watch some more Almodovar. I also want to see the most recent one, Pain and Glory, which I think is a very, very boring name, and I've always been like, really don't have any interest in seeing that. But I remember people being very excited by it. So, okay. Yeah, we're gonna have so fun. We're gonna have fun. That scene with Sandra Bernhard. Yeah, this is the best. She is the best. All right, what's going on here? All right. Let's see if we can get some musica electronica going before. It's a good, yeah, Lines for Lambs, you know? Yeah, check it out if you're interested in that. Oh my god, look at my hair. I look like Jack Whitehall or something. That's a good idea. Double clap songs. I like it. Sandra Bernhard is amazing. What else is people saying? Yeah, she Shirley Shelley. Sorry, Shelley Hack. Yes, she's the girl he loves, right? Yeah, his romantic whatever. Cool. Yes, Raging Bull's gonna be good tomorrow. Watching again last night. What a film. I love it. I love how we're getting people to watch. Like, my favorite thing so far is that I got Kevin to watch, or just anybody. I got anybody, not just Kevin. I mean, it's nice that it's Kevin because I know him, but I got somebody to watch Citizen Kane twice. That's like my biggest accomplishment with this channel. Is that somebody in 2021 watched Citizen Kane twice, and they could just watch Mortal Kombat. No, we're not expecting a lot. She's already made me so nervous. Look at how many, dude. All right, I watched it through once, and I'm gonna watch it again today, and I already have like a page of notes. And I know this is the same thing that ended up happening when I did like 3 pages of notes for the I did 3 pages of notes for the Dylan documentary, and then I didn't even look at it. So I kind of feel like that's happening, but I'm going through like I'm writing a paper about it. Like I'm breaking it down scene for scene, and it's like, I'm like, what am I doing? I should just write like a 25-page paper if I'm putting this much work into it. But it's for you guys. It's for you. And remember, guys, I did add a link to the bio. This is so pathetic. I had a buy me stuff link. I've watched it without sound too, actually. I've watched it with my eyes closed, Jen. Have you watched it with only sound? Charles Foster Kane vs. Sub-Zero. I give it to Kane. Kane, he can't move his elbows really well when he breaks stuff. Or his knees, his joints aren't great. I think that's how a 24-year-old decided to play like an older man, but... American Italian neorealism? Yeah, that's totally, that's what Scorsese is. I mean, neorealism is like the heart of cinema, in my opinion. We'll talk about all that stuff eventually. We're getting way up to it. We are the champions? You are the champions? Yeah, we're the champions, guys. We're going to rule. We're going to kick ass tomorrow, Jen. It's going to be great. Okay, either way. So yeah, it's not a big deal. It'll be early. It's going to be early. It'll be early tomorrow, too. Like 9 Eastern Standard Time. But don't expect too much. I also had to talk to my dad and write down. That's half this page of notes is things that my dad wanted to make sure that I remembered to say. So it'll be interesting because then the day after Raging Bull, I'm gonna have to spend 10 minutes talking about all the things we got wrong in my dad's opinion. So anyway. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to, like, end up breaking down the movie scene for scene, So I don't know why I'm doing that. I think I'm just trying to, like, make sure I understand the movie as best as possible, even though I have written papers about it and I've seen it many times and stuff. But it's not a big deal, but it's the biggest deal ever. And you know what the thing is that we're going to end up having to have my dad on eventually anyway, and I'm sure we'll have him on for, like, Deer Hunter or something now, but either way, he's going to end up talking about Raging Bull. I mean, we could have him on to talk about My Little Pony, and he's going to end up talking about Raging Bull. So it doesn't really matter. So we'll get, because I know people want his opinion as well, but I'd much rather talk to it with a woman who I only have one or two stories about women and this movie. The Devil Wears Prada. He'd probably enjoy that movie. He likes Meryl Streep. I don't know if he's seen that. I'll ask him. Yeah, I know. I do have to get my dad on. He's not, like, against it or anything. We just, like, I don't know. Just, like, never really comes up. But, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. Oh, and I asked him if he had seen, all right, we're way off topic, but that's fine. You guys, I guess you're interested if you're still here. Turn this down more. Hey, hi-hat. Chill out, buddy. Let's get the claps back, though. Okay, good. The claps are back. Okay, good. Yeah, because you know what the truth is about movies is, and why they're so important is because based on the movies that people like, it says a lot about that person. So then when you know somebody's like 5 favorite movies and you know that they have thought about them, they're not just like, oh, I really like Toy Story and I liked Fast and Furious and Transformers or whatever. And, there's somebody who just is a casual viewer, which is fine. That's totally a thing. Yeah, save it for tomorrow. All right, save it for tomorrow. Save it for tomorrow. You're right. You're right, everybody. But the one thing I was going to say was about, I asked my dad, I was like, geez, you must have, like, you never really talked about Cool Hand Luke. And he was like, yeah, I saw it. And it's funny that movie had, like, not a lot of impact on him, even as a young Catholic boy, having seen it, because it's got a lot of Jesus imagery in it. But it's funny because so many other movies sort of from that time period, like late 50s, early 60s, that, even though that's a bit later than that, but, like Bridge on the River Kwai and stuff come up a lot. Like they'd just be on a lot on the weekend. For some reason, I missed Cool Hand Luke. And he was just like, yeah, it's fine. It's good. He's like, well, it came with a great line, Cameron. What we have here is a failure to communicate. Okay. She's not going to tell. She's tenderizing the meat. All right. I guess I'll play a little bit of more music and then say goodbye. I got class today. Everybody relax. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you soon.